Welcome to Never Dirty, Mostly
Yo,
Clean.
what is up?
We are back finally.
Welcome to Never Dirty.
Mostly Clean.
I'm Nathan.
And I am Jason. It is good to be back. It's been a little bit of a hiatus. It's been a busy May.
Yes,
been a busy May
yes, it has.
for us personally. Say that. For us personally.
Mother's Day, first of all.
Yes.
And then there is my wife's birthday is on the 5th.
Uh-huh.
And then what comes next? You got anything before 10?
Before 10. Nothing before 10.
Okay.
Nothing before the 10.
All right. What about the 19th?
Yes.
Because Mother's Day was what, 15?
15. Yeah, I think the 15.
14?
16.
Okay.
No. I take that back. No, it was the 10th this year.
It was the 10th.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It was the 10th this year.
So the 10th?
The 10th. The 11th is my niece's birthday. The 16th is my wife's birthday, and this year was her 40th birthday. And also my brother and his wife's anniversary. Both on the same day as my birthday.
Wow.
Then a week after, okay, so you got 19th.
So the 19th is my son's birthday.
Okay, 19th is his son's birthday. 23rd was my birthday. 25th was Memorial Day and my dad's birthday.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's been a busy month, which it is every year. I feel like every year it's getting more and more busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But along with us having a busy May, the world is having a very busy May.
Yeah. Things seem to be happening at the same time that they're not happening at all.
Yeah. As most of you, I don't see how well. I've encountered one person that didn't know yet, but if you've turned on your TV or been on Facebook, you know about what's going on with the murder of George Floyd by a Minnesota police officer, Minneapolis, Minnesota police officer. Mr. Floyd was in a convenience store and was suspected of paying with a false bill. The police were called. They came to the scene, yanked Mr. Floyd out of his car, handcuffed him, threw him down on his stomach. There's multiple angles of this crime that happened to Mr. Floyd. And for over 8 minutes, this officer placed his knee on the back of Mr. Floyd's neck as he was on the ground handcuffed, pretty much pleading for his life. Let them know that he couldn't breathe, which seems to be something that black folks seem to deal with from police officers. Is right before we get killed by a police officer, we can't breathe.
From what I got from it is that this man, while pleading, either seemed to be completely hysterical.
Yeah.
Like he was pleading for his life. Or he was unstable. Either way, keeping your knee on the back of somebody like that's neck is not the way to go through.
No, it's not acceptable, and it's a tactic that I have multiple friends that are in law enforcement, and like the first thing they said was that is not something he's supposed to do. Like we're taught that is a dangerous move that you're doing, and for black folks, for us it's enough is enough. With everything that's going on. And I think this is the trifecta. So within the last 2 weeks, we had the incident in Central Park where a lady named Amy Cooper was walking her dog in a section that is supposed to be like a bird kind of aviary. It's a reserve. So you're supposed to have your dogs leashed, right? And so she does not have her dog leashed. And so an African American gentleman was walking through the park, and he likes to go there and look at the birds. And he knows that, if someone has their dog off the leash, they're going to chase it with the birds. You can't see the birds.
Right.
So he specifically asked this lady very calmly, can you please put your dog on a leash? And the lady just like, the reason I know that she had this tone with him is because she's like, why is this black man talking to me? You don't get to talk to me. You don't get to tell me what to do.
Wow.
So she basically goes in and is just like, no, you don't get to back away from me and like stop filming me, blah, blah. And he's like, ma'am, you need to put your dog on the leash. Very calmly. And he starts.
He was filming her?
Oh yeah, filming her the whole time. And she starts walking towards him You know, and she's like, "Ma'am, please don't walk towards me." He says, "Please put your dog on a leash," very calmly, right? And she's like, "Ah," you say, "You turn that camera off, or I'm going to call 911, and I'm going to tell them that an African American man is threatening me and my dog." So then she proceeds to call
Whoa.
911, right? And you can listen to how she's using the fact that he's black and she's a white woman calling the police to her advantage. And right with the way her tone, like he's standing back filming her, and her dog is like struggling because he's like, "Why are you holding me by my collar like this?" The dog almost got choked out because she's like, the dog's trying to fight and get away because she's like holding him by his collar, and she's on the phone, and her voice like is just getting more and more like upset, like she's about to cry. Yeah, and this man, he's harassing me, and the dude is just literally like you can see from the view of his camera, he's standing there, he's not even stepping towards her. She's freaking out with the dog. So that happens, right? We already had Ahmaud Arbery, who was shot by the man, it is getting it outside, getting in the rain, and but who was killed by the guys in Georgia jogging down the street. They get shot and killed. You know, so for the black community, this is stuff. This is something that is continuing to happen. I mean, just in the past 10 years, I have so many of my Caucasian friends and lots of friends on Facebook who are conservative, and you know, it's I'm tired of people saying rioting is not the answer. Okay, because right now across our country, there's riots in L.A., Chicago. I don't want to say riots, protests that become violent. Okay, so in all these major cities across the country, because of this incident, because people are done, like we're done, right? We're done having to go through this. We're done people telling us that's not the way to do it. You need to find another way. What's the way? Tell me what the way is.
Yeah. You can't just start scrapping plans if you have no other way of fixing this.
Right. I mean, what else do we have to do?
You can't just say, no, that's not going to work, but I don't know what will.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, so I got in this Facebook comment section with this lady who basically said, this is what she said to me. You should follow the people before you and see how to handle situations like this. Okay, he's like, if you use education and love, we've tried to use education, we've tried to use love. Martin Luther King tried, shot and killed. Okay, what everything that we have tried has not worked. Americans don't, the American system doesn't understand reason and talking it out and trying to be empathetic. They don't understand that. They understand violence and destruction.
Yeah.
That's what this country was made with and was made on, and that's what they understand. So we're gonna speak to them in their language. You know what I mean? Like, would I be out rioting? No, I would protest. If I didn't have my two children, I would be out protesting. But I'm not gonna.
Think about it as children, okay? Mm-hmm. When you're raising kids, you want to teach them the difference between right and wrong, obviously, and you have to make sure that you're using the correct tones to express the importance of these issues as they come across them.
Right.
Now, if you're one of those parents while your kids are misbehaving and jumping off the walls inside of a store or a restaurant, and you're like, "Oh, honey, maybe we should think about the way that you're doing this," that's not going to work.
No.
But if you're like, "Jacob, get over here and sit down right here. You're embarrassing yourself and me."
And if you do not.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
by using that assertiveness, it made a difference in their decision. Mm-hmm. So I completely agree, man. Yeah. I completely agree.
Yeah, and I think a big part of it is there is no right answer. There's not one thing that's going to be like, okay, this changed everything, because it's the hearts and the minds of these white folks who think that they're above everyone else, that they can treat and talk to, and that they have some sort of superiority, supremacy over people that aren't white. And until that changes, until the hearts and what people are teaching their children, like somebody said, how are you gonna? Why are black people still upset about slavery? You guys have the same opportunity as everyone else does. No, we do not. No, we do not have the same opportunity as everyone else does. If this happened, if a black police officer had killed a white man in the streets, he would have been arrested and put in jail immediately. Immediately. They had threw him under the jail. This dude wasn't arrested for 4 days. 4 days they didn't arrest this dude. The dudes that killed Ahmed Arbery. 3 weeks? 2 weeks? 3 weeks? Nothing happened. Nothing. They're just chilling at their house. That's not equal. That's not fair. We do not have the same opportunities, and most people don't see that because they don't experience it. And I can't understand the plight of what it's like to be an Asian American per se because I'm not Asian. You know what I mean? And I understand that they can't understand what we're going through, or why we get so upset about it, or why we feel that we have to protest, and why we feel why violence happens in these riots and stuff like that. Because no one is trying to understand. Because the biggest thing for me is like empathy. I always think back to the end of the movie A Time to Kill, with Samuel Jackson, Matthew McConaughey. Samuel Jackson's daughter was killed by some white supremacists. I don't think she wasn't killed. She was raped. They raped her and beat her.
What movie was this?
A Time to Kill.
I know I've seen that, but it's been a long time.
Okay, yeah, it was a really good movie. Matthew McConaughey is a lawyer, and so in his closing statements, he told this story to the jury, and about a young girl that was thrown in the trunk. Basically, described what happened to his daughter, and it was like, now imagine if that child was white. And he won. He basically won the case on that, with that statement, because that's exactly what we go through. Like, if you could understand as a black person what it means that every time you get pulled over by a cop, this could be my last moment on earth. I'm not going to see my children. If I'm jogging down the street and some white dude thinks that I should be jogging down the street, that could be the last jog I ever take. Because if people feel that they have the right to treat us this way, and it's something that's ingrained and it's systematic, it's not. There's not one answer that's going to stop it. All we can do as a people, and I hate saying that because it seems divisive, but as black folks, like, we have at this point, there's nothing else we can do or say. And for people who think that it's race baiting or you're playing the race card, please turn on your television and see what we're seeing. Please understand that we are being killed in the streets. We are getting killed on camera. And nothing is changing. Nothing is changing. And it's like, so what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? So in this conversation I had with this lady, I asked her. I said, first off, why? What did we do to you to elicit this type of response to us as a people? Why? What did we do? We didn't ask to be brought here, okay? But we're here now. We're here. We've been here for a very long time, and we're not going anywhere. So at what point do you see us as equals? When is that going to happen? Because I'm telling you, man, like, fear breeds violence. Fear breeds violence. And when you fear for your life, you're going to do something violent to stop it. And I feel like that's where the black community is right now. They're just done and tired of it. We're just tired of it. Tired of being killed. Tired of hearing about another person killed and shot by a police officer. Kind of being told, having children, women. And that's the thing. It's not just black men. It's children. 3 arrests was killed in the park. Like, women. Like, a black woman was killed in her house because they thought that their house was the drug house. And so they broke into this house. The boyfriend wakes up, and I think he had a gun to protect his home, and not knowing who's breaking into his house, and it's the cops. So they start shooting, and then shoot his girlfriend and kill her. They were in the wrong house.
Damn.
You see, so it's like stuff like this. It's like really. So when it happens over and over and over and over and over again, it's like nothing has changed. Like, my mom, sent this email out to the family, and it was, I don't know, just hearing her talk about how she felt about what's going on was interesting, because she went through the civil rights movement, and how she talked about how sad this is, and how she's never seen anything like this. Like, she went through the civil rights movement. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of these things happen, and now there is outrage because it's been seen. We can see it happening. We can see it on video. So that doesn't change the fact that it's still been happening. But now everybody can see it. Okay, there's things that happen to me with the cops, and I'm blessed that I'm here and I'm alive, and I'm blessed to be able to say that. Um, and I haven't had, but I've had incidents, not incidents. I've had encounters with police officers that were great. The cops were cool. There was no issue. But like I said, I've had those bad ones too.
Here's the biggest problem with it. I feel like when something like what just happens, it's not like, oh my God, the police force is so sorry for this.
Mm-hmm. Right.
We went way too far, and we immediately took physical cautions against this police officer, against our own force.
Mm-hmm.
And we, hand to God, here we are to say we are horribly sorry to our community,
mm-hmm.
and blah, blah, blah. No, it's not like that.
No.
It's like, hey, what's the big deal?
Yeah, if he'd have just listened.
We sent him home. What's the big deal?
Dude,
He's got 4 days off of pay. Sorry, guys, it's fine. It's fine. Fine. Oh, it's still a big deal? Fine. We won't pay him then. How's that?
Man, I think that's the other thing. That's it's ingrained in the system, and people think white supremacy is walking around, a bunch of skinheads walking around with swastika flags and stuff like that. No, white supremacy is exactly what you just explained. If it had been a black man, immediately he'd have been in jail. Immediately they'd have stripped him of his badge. He'd have been in jail. He wouldn't have seen the light of day. Okay? And for the reasons that you just said, that's what white supremacy is. The fact that a white man can do the exact same thing a black man can do, except a slap on the wrist, while the black man is in jail for 12. Speaking of which, a black officer in Minnesota, and this came out before they officially arrested the guy, was sentenced to 12 years in jail because he shot a woman, I think it was a white woman, but that was running over to ran around his police car to his partner's side of the car, and the partner wasn't paying attention and raised their hand or something like thought they had something in their hand. So he shot her, right, to protect his partner. 9 years in jail, or 12 years in jail, excuse me. This dude murders someone on camera. The whole world sees it.
Not a shocking, what are you doing running up on a police vehicle?
Nope, just sat there with his knee on his neck, chilling, and didn't get arrested for 4 or 5 days. Like
if you haven't seen this video,
I
watch
can't.
it.
Man, I can't even just hearing him call out for his mom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like his dead mom. It makes me so angry, Dad. It makes me so angry.
All right. You know what? I think that.
Yeah.
Not because we're beating something into the ground, because this needs to be talked about. But on here, I think we spiral out of control, and then emotions get involved. We get too passionate, and things start. When I can see the red in Jason's face, we got an issue, and we have to turn the page.
Oh man. Yeah. Let's turn the page. Onto brighter notes.
Yeah.
COVID-19.
Positivity. Yesterday, I went to my favorite pizza place in town, and had way too many slices, like food coma, and had 2 pints of beer out of a glass. And it was the best thing ever. It was the best. Like, it didn't feel like, because there's been a couple of times, you're doing all this takeout and stuff with everything going on, and you just get the food and you're like, they're skipping on ingredients, which I get.
Right.
They're business people trying to make the right decision for their business. They got to cut some corners and get their meat at different places and stuff,
right.
just to get things a little bit cheaper to make ends meet. So I get it. I didn't feel like that at all. I felt like it was like I sat back in my chair and I'm just like, this is just how I remembered it. It felt so good.
Yeah.
And I missed it, man. I missed it. Do I think it's important? Yes. Do I think that now that it's happening, am I going to abuse it like I probably was before? No, I think that this time has helped me reflect on my decisions.
Yes.
As a parent, as a husband,
right.
And taking these shortcuts to go out and get this food, even though it's delicious and it's fun to do. Do we need to do it that often? No, because making dinner at home has its own personal, relatable twist on it.
Yes.
Yeah. And you get those flavors at a home cooked meals than you do at any other place.
Yeah.
So I think it's important.
Yeah.
I think it's important for both.
It is.
Weigh it out.
It's time to get back to normal. I think for a lot of people, simply going to a pizza place to have have a slice and a beer like that emotionally, it helps. Dealing with this quarantine and just dealing with everything that's going on. It helps to have that sense of normalcy. Like for my birthday, you know how I feel about sushi. And my wife was like, you can have, why don't you just do it? I had sushi.
You did take out sushi.
I did. You don't like sushi at all.
I know, but you're getting it out of okay, here it is.
Well, what do you mean take? Okay.
All right, here it is. The difference between going to, you're not going to like this. And I feel conceited and, because I don't have an opinion in this. I shouldn't because I don't like sushi. But here it is. You get it at a restaurant, and you're like, oh, that's super fresh, and it looks super clean, and look how they designed it on the plate. And I don't know, it just looks cool. They made it look like a flower or a dragon head or whatever. You get it home, and you pull it out of one of those foam boxes. That is a rice tube.
Listen, it's
rice
still
tube. You got rice tubes for dinner on your birthday.
Delicious.
You liked it.
Oh,
it was good, huh? It was everything you dreamed it could be.
And more.
All right, then here I am eating my word.
And more. It was, but that's the thing. I haven't had it. I haven't had sushi in
months. I think you
months.
rice tube.
I haven't had it in months. So I mean, like I said, I love sushi. It's probably my number one food. And I hadn't had it for months. Like that first piece of that roll, I was like, so amazing. It's so good. So I had it Friday. Saturday, the fam came over. We did the social distancing birthday party, and then I had it on Sunday, and then I had it 2 days ago.
Yeah, see, you're out of control. I'm out of control.
But I'm not eating inside, So it's under California, rules. I think not till June 1st are they open up the dining rooms under social distancing protocol. So they've just been kind of running the business. But I've been eating at home, cooking every day, for like 3 months.
Yeah.
So I was like, once they started lifting some of the measures and
they only had like 4 tables opened up.
Really? So when they were like completely.
Yes. Yeah. They had it all spread out, and all the servers wore masks and gloves and all that.
Yeah.
They were making it work. Is how I should say it. But I didn't feel like it took away from anything. I was just so appreciative that it didn't bother me at all.
Yeah. That's huge, man. It's like the little things that keep your sanity.
Right.
It's like when you don't have those freedoms and those luxuries, and then you get a taste of it, it's like, oh yeah.
Here it is. Whether you choose to do it or not do it, that's up to you, and it's not going to make that much of a difference.
Right.
In the large scheme of things.
Right.
But once someone tells you cannot do it, then you want to do it.
You want to do it. That's just like having kids.
Yeah.
Just like kids. Yeah. Yeah. The exact same thing. But part of getting back to normal, we've lucked out, with us being able to have access to movies and whatnot. We've lucked out. We
know the tooth fairy of
movies. Yes. Yeah, we got it hooked up.
And I'm toothless at this point. I'm just throwing each one of them underneath the pillow for more movies.
Yeah. So I mean, it's literally like, I wish upon wish and hope upon hope that I could watch.
And here comes Marco.
The Last Dragon.
Yeah. Here comes Marco. I'll be like, hey, can you find this, and then 12 hours, he's like,
Dude,
it's on there.
It's there. So but for a lot of people, part of getting back to normal is going to the movies. Like I used to love love going to the movies, experience of going to the movies, taking the kids to the movies, getting your popcorn, finding your seat and everything. So that kind of sparked me and my wife starting this conversation, and I brought it to you. I'm like, oh, this is something we need to talk about. Okay, so we're gonna do right now is we're gonna do a top 5 list. Okay, we are gonna do a top 5 list.
This has had. I'm sorry to interrupt real quick, and I'm not gonna ruin it.
Okay.
But this was really difficult.
It was difficult. It's difficult.
It was difficult in different ways too.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead.
so,
I'm sorry.
So we want to discuss what are your top 5 movie soundtracks. Okay. So we also did an animated. We'll save that for another episode. We also did animated films because if you do animated and non-animated, you could find a lot. It'd be too much of a pool to pull from. So we did non-animated movies, and we also did non like musical biographical films, like The Doors,
Yes.
like Bohemian Rhapsody.
Even I would even put actual musical movies like what's that movie with oh shit, I'm doing this right now. What's that La La movie?
La La Land.
La La Land?
Yeah.
You can't.
You can't.
Sound of Music? You can't.
Yeah.
So if it's a musical, you're shooting it. You can't do it. You can't. You gotta find a movie. Like here's one. I almost put Return of the Jedi on my top 5.
Okay.
Because it got grittier and darker. Like the way that they produced the music for that film was like the step in the right direction of Star Wars sounds that you still hear today.
Okay.
That's how I felt about it.
Yeah.
Like it moved me even as a child. It did not make my list though because my list started going. I went from like having 3 and like tapping a pencil to just like just rambling. I'm like scratching things out and going, oh my god. So yeah, it was tough.
Yeah,
it was really tough.
It's tough. So I have my 5. I want to hear your 5 first.
Can we go back and forth?
Okay.
I don't think mine are in order. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, no. Mine aren't in any order. Mine aren't in any order. Yeah. All right.
So, number 1.
Okay.
Not on my list, but just it.
Honorable mention.
Yes, it pays homage to a portion of my personality and how I remember my life as a child.
Okay.
This movie is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Okay.
Yeah. Boom, 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 bum, 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 bum.
Oh man.
I just every time I hear it, it pumps me up, dude.
Yeah.
I got it on a playlist for when I'm working out.
Okay.
Like songs from that movie. And when I was a kid, me and my dad would always watch westerns. And I remember it like my mom would be like, "Those are way too bloody for him," because I was young.
Yeah.
But my dad didn't care, and I sure as hell didn't care. I wasn't gonna say anything about it. Plus, the blood was like orange.
Yeah, right. It was like ketchup.
Yeah. So I don't know. It just to me that plays a big toll on me, dude. Yes. I had to put it on the list.
Okay. All right. Good, bad, ugly. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna put one that I put it on for. I think most of these. I think 2 of my movies are. One of them is my favorite movie of all time, so of course that's going to go on. But the soundtrack, because I listen to it just on my bike rides or when I'm working out, like I listen to this album. But,
what is it?
But we're going to go.
Okay, right.
The other one is, and this is a. I'm just going to go with the one. Okay, so I grew up in LA, in the 80s. I used to go to roller skating rink. I loved to dance. So I grew up in an interesting time in hip hop for in the 80s.
It changed from like Kool and the Gang to hip hop.
Yes.
Almost seamlessly.
Yes.
Okay. And it happened overnight.
It was very quick. I mean, when you think about how big something can have an impact on the world. I mean, to do something like that, have a culture be built, as quickly as it was. Anyway, all right. So let me just go back. Let me tell you the movie, Breaking'. Okay. So
wow.
Breaking'. Now, both the first and the second one are good soundtracks. I think the second one might have been a little bit more poppy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that makes sense. The first one was like hip hop, like early.
They were making a difference. The second one, they were trying to get everyone to enjoy.
Right. Yeah. But the first one was just like straight battle dancing. Like break dancing.
Man, that is a good movie.
Oh, it's a good one. And if for any movie buffs out there, there was a cameo at the very beginning of Breaking'. Okay, so they're at Venice Beach, right? And so the two main characters, Turbo and Ozone, they meet a friend at the beach. So I guess their friend shows up with this girl that he knows, and she ends up being one of the main characters. But they're at Venice, and there's like a circle, people like dancing and stuff like that. Across the circle of the dance circle, dancing in this black leotard and these tight like sweats, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
No way!
Yes.
Oh man, I gotta rewatch that.
Yes, dude, I'm telling you, it is so funny. And so, like,
Does he even have any lines?
No, he's just dancing. You remember how he was in kickboxing?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what he's doing.
Just like holding his hips.
Yeah, dude.
Jean-Claude Van Damme has made this. Like, this is knowledge that he can dance with just the bottom half or top half of his body, but never both.
They dance separately from each other. He's like Pinocchio.
Come on, no strings on me.
No strings on me, down. Oh, sad. Okay, yeah. So Breaking'. That's my one. All right, you go.
Okay. So next, reading over my list now, I'm like, there's so many better movies.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just gonna go with
what you have, because I'm doing that too.
Another one that blew me away.
Mm-hmm.
This director, I think, is responsible.
Okay.
It's not necessarily the music; it's how he chose to place it, and he's known for doing this. Quentin Tarantino.
Okay. Which one?
Django.
Ooh, Django was good.
Yeah.
Stick with the Western thing.
When the wagon turns and then Rick Ross comes out with black coffins.
Yeah.
That shit just blows me away every time I watch that movie.
Yes.
And it's not just that. It's the whole, like, what's that French song that he plays when they're, like, setting up at the nice dinner table before the frickin' bloodbath.
Yeah.
And it's like, you coulda queen, you coulda queen.
Yeah.
That song always gets me too. So I don't know. He did a great job. It's not the only Tarantino film on my list.
So I noticed I didn't even Quentin Tarantino never popped into my head any of his films, and I'll let you get yours out before I say which one I would have my Quentin Tarantino movie. Okay, so this next entry, I want to see if this falls into the category of artist biography films. Okay?
Yeah.
Purple Rain. Purple Rain movie and the album are spectacular. Okay. But it's loosely based off of Prince's life.
Mm-hmm.
Loosely based off of Prince's life.
You can tell that he kind of got to puppet through his own.
Right. So when we
he did a real big shine job on his own life. Is what he did.
Yeah. So would we put Purple Rain in that category, or
dude, sung by the artist formerly known as the character in the movie? Like, dude, that's you're tightrope walking there as far as I'm concerned. I'll let it pass because it's on your list.
All right.
That that kind of breaks our only rule we had.
Okay.
A little bit.
It does. All right. So scratch Purple Rain. Scratch Purple Rain.
I mean, I agree, but no.
All right. So it does not fall into. Okay. So I will move on to my favorite movie in the whole wide world. This soundtrack is very near and dear to my heart. I literally can sing from the beginning to the end. I can recite the movie from beginning to the end. And my daughter is now in my corner with this movie.
Oh,
she wants to watch it. She loves hearing the soundtrack. It's the greatest. It warms my heart. The Last Dragon.
The Last Dragon. Yes.
That is my movie, son. Bruce Leroy, Shonuff, Eddie Arcadian, Laura Charles.
Shonuff is one of the best villains of all time.
He's one of the best villains of all time. Best villains of all time. Hands down. I watched it. Oh, my birthday, which was cool. I came downstairs and they made me breakfast and there was like balloons and stuff.
Yeah.
And they had it on. My kids put it on for me. I was like,
oh man,
that's love right there.
Yeah.
That's love. But that was cool. But dude, I mean that movie, I love that movie. And that movie, again with growing up in the '80s, it's the soundtrack is it's very '80s. It included a lot of I guess you would call it it's hip hop, but like electronic, like electric funk type of songs. Some poppy songs, some R&B songs, but it was a perfect soundtrack for the time. For me growing up, the things I loved were music, dancing, martial arts films, old kung fu films, Bruce Lee.
Here's Rapid.
Oh man, it's everything. It has everything I would need in a film. And like I said, Shonuff, his character. I mean, Bruce Leroy's character, Vanity. I
gotta be honest, and it might be I tend to be slight of a villain lover in movies because it's fun to watch them either unravel or why they're like that, and try to pull things out. That maybe the director didn't even mean to do, but it just kind of makes things relatable. But Bruce Leroy's character didn't outshine Shonuff.
No, heck no.
At all.
Heck no. No, not one bit. Shonuff was the master.
It should have been called, like, The Last Martial Arts Villain. That's what the name of the movie should have been.
Or just Shonuff. But that movie is that soundtrack is on my list. It's on my list. All right, what you got?
All right. Here's another one, and I didn't even realize it at first because it's also in my top 2 favorite comedies of all time.
Okay.
Dumb and Dumber.
Okay.
Like
another movie I can.
Red Hand.
Yeah.
Right in the intro, they do the whole. Why not go up? Why not go down?
Oh, come on, it's like Ready to Bed.
Yeah, help me.
Oh, come on. That's gonna bother me. I have to find it now.
Or even the small little cuts that they do.
Yeah.
While you're searching for that, I'm gonna keep going. Like when they play that trick on Seabass. Okay, and I just put all this stuff in his cab too, and they run out, and they're like, you hear, "Put a butt crack was all I could see." Like that, those small little clips like that, where you're like, "What? Did they just say butt crack?"
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just funny to me, man. You really wimped out, man. The guy hawked you my burger. Where'd you get an idea? Where'd you get an idea for a stunt like that? Oh, I saw it in a movie once. Oh, so they got away scot-free? No, they caught up with them down the road and slit their throats. It was a good one.
We start speeding up. I saw her standing in the rain.
Yeah.
Raindrops falling on her. Dude, that's a good one. That's a good soundtrack.
Yeah.
That is a good soundtrack. Yeah. Okay, I like that.
And I knew.
It made me happy.
Flowers in her hair. Flowers everywhere.
I mean, we hit that one note, though. We hit that one note. Okay, here goes. I love this movie.
Excuse me. Could you tell me how to get to the medical school? I'm supposed to be doing a lecture in about 20 minutes and my driver's a bit lost.
You go straight ahead and you make a left
Over the bridge.
That's a lovely accent you have. New Jersey?
Austria.
Austria? Well then, good night, night. Let's
run a shrimp on the hallway.
Let's go.
What's your chip? Oh.
He gets in this movie as with that stupid haircut. Your pumpkin pie haircut of break.
Okay, this is it.
Yeah.
This one.
Boom!
Yeah. I have to find out the name of that song. I mean, this is 90s right here. This is my 90s right here.
Then he does the left-handed, but turns right. Oh, it's fucking great.
All right, great film.
Real quick, I hate to do this because we're going way off track now, but we're talking about one of my favorite movies of all time.
Okay.
There's a scene when Harry is driving his dog van, okay?
Yeah.
And he's blaring around corners. He's got all the dogs rolling around with ketchup and mustard in the back.
Yeah.
And he takes a right turn, and there is a stunt jogger.
Yes.
That is crossing, and he almost gets clipped on the outside of the car. The stuntman that was driving that car and the stuntman that was running right there, that is like that little scene where he's like, oh shit!
Yeah, like
and
he was
almost
actually
gets
scared.
Decked.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that is like so fucking cool to me because usually when they do something like that, like it'll be on the inside and the person like rocks on the curb, like whoa.
Right, like, oh,
no, this guy was sprinting and almost gets clipped on the back end. Like oh, I love it. And it's the intro. Credits are still running. You don't even know who's in it yet.
Funny.
All right, moving on.
All right, my next movie is, and I was making my list, and like I said, I had this conversation. We had this conversation with my wife, and she brought this one up, and it didn't even pop into my head. Forrest Gump.
Oh, that is a good one.
Forrest Gump has some great music.
The whole military scene.
Yes.
The helicopters.
Yes.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, lots of classic rock on it. Like it's great music.
A good one.
50s, 60s, 70s.
That is a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. And she said, I was like, oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Do you have anything else to say about Forrest Gump? I feel like I just glorified Dumb and Dumber and then cut you off.
No, that's all I have to say about that.
I may be dumb, but I know what love is, Jeffrey. Can't sit here.
Can't sit here.
Here's another one. I felt like they did a great job of just pulling the right songs.
Okay.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Pick one.
Of the Galaxy. Yeah, either one.
Pick one.
Either one.
I put number one on here, but you can pick either one.
Yeah, and I like, and I think you said this about Quentin Tarantino, but I like how in these films, the music is such a huge part of his character.
Yes.
That it's like it flows so it's just as important as the CGI is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like the music
agree.
is the backbone of the movie. And
like the beginning of the second one, where Baby Groot is like dancing around, and he's like the sun is shining, and he's like going back and forth, and everything's blowing up, and shit's exploding in the background. Like how removed he is from that whole thing, and he's just dancing the whole time, and then finally like the stereo gets wrecked, and he's just hecka pissed off. Oh, it's just so good.
Yeah. Those are very well. They chose those songs very well. in those movies. They did a really good job with that. So I applaud Guardians of the Galaxy. Very good, sir. Okay, so I think I'm on my last one. I said Breaking. I said Purple Rain, which you didn't count. Oh, I guess Purple Rain didn't count. But all right, this next one.
You don't have a sixth, just in case if that. I wrote a sixth, just in case if you demeaned any of mine unworthy. I was ready for a follow.
I have some in my bag.
Okay.
I'll pull out one. But this next one, Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights.
That was a very
that
good
is a
soundtrack.
good one, man. Those
Good
70s.
soundtrack.
Oh,
Marvin
man.
Gaye, Sister
so
Christian.
many good songs back then. You know? Oh, it was just so good.
Yeah.
They did a good job of capturing that time frame. If you were not familiar with actors and you watched that film today, you would think it was from the 70s.
Right. Very well made film. The actors were great. Mark Wahlberg, he was really good in that movie.
Yeah.
John C. Reilly was good in the movie.
Yeah. Burt Reynolds.
What's Graham? What's your captain?
Come on, this movie was about porno. We should be able to think of a woman's name. Come on. Thinking of a whole bunch of swinging dicks here.
All right, but Don Cheadle. But this, I mean, it was like an all-star cast. The music was I mean, it's a period piece. I mean, it's 70s, 70s, early 80s. So that's where the music came from. But just great choice of songs.
Agreed.
Very good.
I agree.
Soundtrack. I like that one.
Do I can only get one too?
Yeah.
All right. Tarantino.
Okay.
Before he did Django, he did Inglourious Basterds.
Okay. Okay.
And there's another one where I'm just like, I'm blown away. Even at the beginning of the movie, like the whole build between the Frenchman, chopping wood and all that, and like this like sad, drawn-out song is playing in the background. You can barely hear it at first. And then it builds back up after the whole gun down through the basement. And then you can see Shoshana just running as fast as she can, covered in her family's blood. And it's like, now, and it's, that movie captures me, man, by the music.
Yeah, that one was a good one. I mean, I can't say that. So my next film is a Tarantino film. I think that Django stood out. Inglourious Bastard, I didn't really stand out to me that much. It was good, but it didn't stand out.
I think that my love for that movie, being because I have a lot of German blood.
Okay.
And the idea of
like in a jar somewhere?
No, like in my body.
Oh, I see.
Hugo Stiglitz's character in that movie, like, makes me love that movie.
Okay.
Like, he's the Nazi killing German. The one that they break out of jail.
The bear? Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah. We're a big fan of your work, but we think you need to enter the big leagues, kind of thing. Like that was just so cool to me. What a great idea for a character. And so my love for that movie may have just blossomed the music for it.
Right.
But I enjoyed it.
Yeah. That's a good one. So my next one is Tarantino. Pulp Fiction.
Oh, yeah.
Pulp Fiction. That film, I mean, every time I watch it, I mean, I'm singing the songs along with, reciting the words, but...
Even the beginning, where they're changing the station.
Yes.
And then it goes like, get down. Yeah,
Dude, yes. So that album,
Damn it.
I thought you were gonna say Pulp Fiction when you said Tarantino.
I almost did Kill. I just wrote down all of his movies and I was like, I gotta just pick.
Yeah, Kill Bill was good.
Kill Bill, yeah.
Oh, Kill Bill
2 was on mine, not Kill Bill 1.
Not the first one.
Yeah, even though I like the whole like Oren Ishii.
Yes.
Like that whole part where she's in Japan.
Yeah.
Like all the songs right there were dope.
Yeah, very good. Yes. Yeah, man. Yeah, Kill Bill. That's a good soundtrack too. But he does. I mean, he's that's what Tarantino does, man. Like he thinks about every single part, and he understands what music can do to your films and to the audience that's watching it. He always has great soundtracks. Next episode we're gonna have to do top 5 animated.
I hate to do this real quick.
Okay.
I want to just say my 6th one as an honorable mention.
Okay.
I'm gonna say because the actor in this movie, I feel, has fallen lately. He's gotten old, and he just doesn't produce magic like he once did. What kind of professional doesn't mute his phone?
My business, dog. It's my mom, man.
Anyways, Adam Sandler in Wedding Singer.
Oh, Wedding Singer!
Themed.
Wedding Singer is good.
Yeah. It was an 80s
yes.
theme, but it was made in the late 90s.
Yes.
If you haven't seen this one, please watch it because it's one of 3 Adam Sandler's films that were actually good.
Oh, man, that's a good one. That was a great soundtrack.
Yeah.
Very good soundtrack.
So there's my honorable mention.
So that movie is so funny.
You find out that it's the only song he knows. Oh, it's so good. Anyway, take it away, George.
The Raccoons. That's a good one, man. That's a good. I'm literally gonna go on my Spotify and download all these now.
Robbie and Julia.
Oh man. Well, it's been a emotional roller coaster of an episode.
Yeah. But stay tuned for our animated list.
Yes.
Next week.
That is coming next week. So I'm sure a lot of you out there are gonna have your votes.
And if you're one of those adults that can't find your childhood funny bones anymore or can't appreciate good animated films, then get your head out of your ass. That's all I gotta say. Because there is some funny stuff out there. There's so many movies that I started writing on my list, and I'm like, but the music's not good. What am I doing?
Yeah, right.
The movie. Here's one that is an honorable mention for my animated.
Okay.
Because it's not gonna make my list.
Okay.
Because I think that the producer did a great job, and it kicked his career in a new direction.
Okay.
Pharrell.
Oh,
Despicable
Me. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Yes. Yeah. Pharrell did a good job. When he with Happy, Happy. I mean, Pharrell had already been in. I followed Pharrell.
Clips and then Nerd and
yeah. I mean, he started out, him and his boy Chad. So the first song he did that he produced was Rump Shaker.
Really?
Yeah. Teddy Riley found Chad and
that guy must have been 17 years old.
Yeah, he was young. And Teddy Riley is a huge producer. He produced. He's produced everybody. And he kind of found Pharrell and gave him his opportunity. And then they became the Neptunes, where it was just him and Chad, and they were making
beats.
The
Neptunes were so good.
Yeah, and they were just making beats. And so then they also had a friend. They have a friend named Shay Williams. So it's Pharrell Williams, Shay Williams, and then Chad Hugo. And so they formed a band, which is NERD.
Yeah.
And so that's when he started to become like, okay, Pharrell is somebody who's making music, he's producing, he's doing all this stuff. And then, they came out, so they had like 3 or 4 NERD albums. Then he had the Neptunes album, which was excellent. And then from there he went solo. So he had a solo album. Mm-hmm. I think he had 2 solo albums before he did Despicable Me.
When was Clips?
Clips was... So he did.
Who's the last time you heard it like this?
Yeah. So after the NERD, I think then he came out with. He started producing Clips, and then Khalees.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those were his artists. He had a couple other artists that didn't really make much, but Clips and Khalees they kind of blew up. But then when he did Despicable Me, when that song just catapulted him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so he did that full album, and he did the next movie. I think he's done I think he did Despicable Me. I don't think he's done the Minions. I think he's only done the Despicable Me.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that is correct.
Yeah, I don't think he's done the Minion movies. But
to take someone that is born from hip hop like that and just to throw him into family oriented,
right.
like that speaks so loud.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah. It's really cool. It's you look at the actors, and man, we're going into straight another episode. The actors. I'll say this so we can be close. So like actors that were musicians or were doing something else and moved on to making movies. One pops up in my head: Ice Cube. Ice Cube
another one
was one of the hardest rap. Will Smith, right? These were some of the most successful hip hop artists, and they leave that and become movie stars, producers. They have their own film houses. The Rock. The Rock was a wrestler. Now look what he's doing. He's making these movies.
To be doing something that you love. And to have it completely kickstart your career in something that wasn't even fathomable in the first place, that blows my mind at the amount of level of success that is.
Yeah.
And now the Rock. Have you had his Terramana tequila?
No.
Oh, so good.
Really?
It's so good.
I heard him talking about it.
And it's because it's not just one of those like, oh, I make tequila now, put my name on it. Like, this shit's good.
It's good, really?
And because at first Jen brought it home, I'm like, great. Another $50 bottle of tequila that isn't even that good. And I tried it, and it was delicious. And then she told me that it's way less than that.
Really?
A bottle. And now I love it.
Huh. What's it called again?
Terramana?
Okay, yeah, you said it, and I was like...
Yeah, I'm probably butchering it.
Terramana. Isn't that the end, right? Oh, I gotta look it up. All right, I'm gonna look this up. I'm gonna do my research on it. But yeah, man. So please listen up for next week. Top 5 animated soundtracks. We'll get an update on what's going on in the world. Hopefully, everyone's staying safe out there with all the riots. And
I'm
whatnot.
sorry that you don't get to see our faces right now. I haven't even shaved my head in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We're in hermit stage right now, but the world is kickstarting back up, and you'll see our beautiful faces again soon.
Yes, definitely. We appreciate y'all coming back. Appreciate y'all listening. Look out for us next week. Like, follow, subscribe. Appreciate y'all.
Love you.
See you next week.
Bye.
Peace.
Never dirty, mostly clean.